Hello and welcome back to Cult Leader. I'm your Cult Leader, Spencer Henry, and it's Friday, babes. That means that this is a Little Leader, our weekly catch up where I share some of the stories you all send to me. If you have a story you'd like to share with the cult, send it on over to spencer@cultleader.com and put Little Leader somewhere in there so I know where to find it. Or you can call in and tell me the story yourself at 747-322-0273. And this week, we're actually not going to be doing any of that. Okay, none of it. None of it whatsoever. I know a lot of you have called into the hotline the past couple weeks, and I know there's some little leader sitting in there and on my inbox. But this week I said no. I said no. We threw caution to the wind. We're just sitting down because I do want to just chat this week. I have a lot to talk about. Just got back from Italy with my fiance. Okay. We are engaged to the champ. Very, very excited about that. Obviously, I knew that was going to happen. He was surprised. I also kind of expected a little bit, yeah, that it might happen when we were in Italy, but it did happen, and I'm just over the moon. Both of us over the moon. So excited. So look forward to that cult expansion happening. Really, really excited. Just so happy. But I was talking. Okay, so well, first of all, this is going on YouTube as well. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, you can go to youtube.com/@cultleader and watch this episode on there as well. I'm not editing this episode this week, so it's just going to be one of our raw episodes that's going up. But based on the feedback that I've gotten lately, a lot of you guys like just kind of the unedited, natural vibe of things. And I do too. Not for main episodes, that those got to get edited, okay? Because you know, there's pauses, there's me stopping to look up how to pronounce something so I don't hear about it later on, all kinds of things happening behind the scenes. But yeah, I feel like when I can, I like to leave the little leaders unedited. But I actually put a thing up on Instagram, on our Instagram at Cool Leader Podcast yesterday. I think, yeah, yesterday. I was just asking, I'm like, what is what is or what has been your favorite cult leader era so far? And I got a lot of responses on that. And I also got some just, I feel like, I feel like some feedback, which I'm always open to feedback. Okay. Like we've been in this relationship for almost 7 years. I want that, we got to keep our relationship fresh. We got to keep it strong. And so a lot of you were saying that you like the unedited little leaders. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm happy to do that because it does feel more casual. And I'm a casual guy. Okay. Listen, he's in a hat. Okay. He's casual, business casual at best, but usually casual. A lot of you were saying that you wanted the most wanted list episodes back. And so we're going to do some of those. I think what I have been figuring out is like I want to have a rhythm to things because I know sometimes we'll go like really cult heavy and not talk about anything else for like 3 weeks in a row. And then we'll tell like a Moida story or whatever. And then, or like an alien abduction. Or sometimes we'll do a bunch of like murders in a row and then we talk about a cult later on. What is life? I don't know. I'm sorry. That's the truth. That it is what it is. But I think I want to do some sort of schedule where we have like, and I'm putting this out there just cautiously. I'm not going to probably stick to this, but maybe I will. If it ends up working really well, maybe I will. But I would love to do like a cult one week, a crazy true crime story the next week, an alien abduction the next week, a conspiracy the next week, like just have some sort of pattern or formatting down. People seem to like the list episodes. I'm just going through kind of what you guys were saying on my phone right now on the responses. Aliens, paranormal, satanic panic. Satanic Panic was probably one of my favorite eras of cult leader, but someone responded in an actual DM and they said, I liked the early days when you were putting so much more of your personality and opinions into it. Now the episodes are better research, which of course is a good thing. I'm loving the uncut little leaders. So, in short, I want to see more of your personality and, frankly, the sass. Well, sass, I can deliver. Ask my family. I've been giving it to them since 91. I truly feel that though. Like when I read that message, it resonated so deeply with me because I know we've kind of touched on this before in the past, but I do feel like there was a long time where I think I've had a hard time figuring out the balance of like when I should put my input in and my opinions and my little comments that I make, because sometimes I do edit them out because I'm like, well, I don't know if that should be in there, or is this making it too silly or whatever, which obviously when we're talking about certain things like an alien episode, whatever, but certain cases obviously are going to have a different tone to them when we're talking about them. But I do think that I miss those early days as well. And the nice thing is that that is my natural state where I'm the most comfortable. So that's an easy thing to kind of adjust. And in my ideal world, we'd be kind of melding the two together. Better researched episodes. Like, I definitely have gotten way better, I feel like, on the researching end and putting the actual episodes together, the flow of the episodes. But I do think that in turn, I've been less loose. So I don't know. I just got to find a way to marry those two together. And probably this isn't like, I don't know what. I don't, I can't think of a lot of podcast, none that I listen to that are like trying to game plan with their listeners. Like, okay, what do we want? What are we doing? But I don't know. I have to keep it real. And in an effort to keep it real, I got to talk about things. I love, he's a yapper, he's a talker. Surprise, surprise. So I want to like be able to talk every once in a while. I don't want feedback all the time. Nobody does. No, but I feel like, yeah, something's been, I said, I've felt kind of bored lately. And I think it is because I've tried to be so buttoned up or tried to be more like investigative journalist vibe, which he's a dumb bitch with a microphone. Okay. That's always been the MO. And I think I just need to go back to that. So I actually recorded an episode yesterday and it's such a fucking wild story. It's got like wealthy family, deep, dark secrets, so fucked up. And I really just kind of put a lot more me into it. So I think you guys will like that one. It'll be out on Tuesday, I think, depending on when you listen to this. And I had so much fun recording. Like I was truly just like smiling. I was so happy because I was like, okay, this feels so much more natural to me. And I don't know if there's like there's nothing wrong with what the episodes have been the past couple years, but I just feel like anything, when you do something for a long time, I think you can start to lose some of your motivation, or your not motivation. I always love what I do. Like I'm always grateful to do this as a job, is like a dream for me. But I think things become monotonous when you're doing it every single week, right? Because Cult Leader for me started out as just for fun. I truly just loved doing it in the beginning. I loved it so much that the first entire 2 years of doing it, I was doing it in addition to working full time. It was a lot, but now that it like once it became my full time gig, I like felt all this pressure. Like, okay, things need to be longer, things need to be better, things need to be more research, things need to be more buttoned up, and then now I'm bored and I'm like, actually, I think I just want to go back to having fun with everything again. So if you'll allow that, that is the direction that we're heading. Okay. Now that that is out of the way. So yes, so I did get back from Europe on Saturday night, and it's Tuesday, or no, it's Wednesday right now. That's just shows where I'm at. I have never experienced jet lag like this in my entire 34 years of being on this earth. Okay, I have to tell you guys. So we were in Italy. We spent the first couple days in Rome, and then we were in the Amalfi Coast for like about a week, and then came back to Rome and then flew home. And going there was fine, right? Because I knocked out on the plane on the way there, woke up, had like an hour and a half left of the flight, which is ideal because you fly from, or we flew from Los Angeles straight to London and then like hopped on a little plane and went from London to Italy. And that was fine because also like you're amped. You're excited to be going somewhere. You're like, "Oh my God, we're going to experience this new city together and blah blah blah." There's a lot of hype, right? Like I'm going on fucking vacation. Like I don't know when the last time I took 2 weeks off of work was. Fucking never. Coming home, girls, it was another fucking level. You would not believe. So, first of all, the champ, he got what we thought was food poisoning initially towards the end of the trip. Super big bummer, sucked, but he was feeling fine by the time we were flying home or whatever. And then as we are on that plane, first of all, I'm like, I'm staying up. I'm not going to sleep on this flight. We were going to land back in LA at 5:30 p.m. And so I was like, I'm just going to rough it. I'm not going to sleep on this entire flight and I'm going to just crash, we'll get home, I'll stay up for a couple hours and then just knock out. Spoiler alert, that did not happen. So I'm up on this plane, right? And it's a long flight. Like the first flight's whatever, it's a couple hours, but that 10 and or no, it was like 11 hours, I think, from London to LA. And I was on the plane and you do your things. I watch fucking 4 movies and like I don't even know what I'm watching at any point. My head hurts just from staring at a screen. And I start to get so nauseous. Like just like I'm going to throw up, which is wild because I am not normally that person. Like I'll go on roller coasters 10 times in a row. I can sit wherever in the car. I can be on a boat. I can be on a plane. And I just start feeling super woozy. And the thing was, so the seats we were in were like these little pods, and one faces forward and one faces backwards. And so I was in the one facing backwards. So I was like, okay, maybe because I'm flying backwards, it's just making me feel really nauseous. I wasn't putting two and two together that maybe the champ didn't have food poisoning and maybe he had like a stomach bug. It fucking hits me on the plane, you guys. I go to the bathroom, I vomit in an airplane bathroom, which just sucks. Okay. It's like, it feels like throwing up in a porta potty. Like, it's just a bummer all around. We finally land in Los Angeles and I feel like feverish. I am out of it. I feel so just absolutely insane, but it's hard to tell if it's because at that point I had been up for 24 hours or if I had a stomach thing or what was going on. No idea. And then we like land at LAX, fully go to the bathroom, throw up again. We get home and it's just rough. It is rough waters. I end up going to sleep at 8 o'clock and I woke up at 2 a.m. and then was just awake. So Sunday, I'm just awake and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I waited until like 4 a.m. to get up and have my coffee, but I just felt truly insane, emotionally unstable. Like it is wild what sleep deprivation will do to a person. I truly was feeling like heightened emotions. I was like, I just want to cry. I feel emotional. I feel sick. I feel upset. And like we had left Sunday for us to just kind of have as like a zombie day because we knew we'd be fucking tired, but I had no idea. So I'm going through all the typical stomach flu-ish type motions if you're picking up what I'm putting down all day Sunday, just feeling so fucking crazy because I didn't sleep at all. That night I ended up sleeping, thank God, but Monday I was still fucking going through it, just going through the motions. I had therapy that day, thank God, but I was just like nothing else. I can't handle this. It was rough. It was rough. And so grateful to be home. Grateful we got home safe. I mean, planes are falling out of the sky all the time and disappearing and flipping upside down on their heads. So trust me, that's everything that I'm thinking about when we're flying. So I'm grateful to be home safe. But God, I was fucking down for the count. And I had to work out I worked out on Monday and I worked out on Tuesday with my trainer. And I was just like, I don't, I'm not feeling great, but powered through. Here we are today. Today I slept until a glorious 5 o'clock in the morning and I feel great. I slept last night actually on the couch too. I fell asleep for like an hour and a half while we were watching TV after dinner. Just classic dad fashion. That's just where I'm at in my life. I'm now the guy who falls asleep snoring on the couch and I have to be woken up and told to go to bed. So that's what's going on in my world. But Italy itself was incredible. I feel like everyone there was so nice, like beyond nice. Rome was incredible. Just seeing all of the architecture, all of the history that's there. We were staying by the Pantheon, and so like we walked to the Colosseum one night and got to see that and walk around. I did like all the cheesy touristy tours, you know. It's like I want to see everything, especially when I'm going somewhere for the first time. And it was just so crazy to see, like in person, all these things, especially because I've talked about so many of the things that we saw on Obituary before. So seeing them in person was crazy. Like things that Madison's talked about too. I was like, oh my God, I'm at the crypt that we talked about in episode whatever. So it was just cool. Like I love the history of it all. And I mean, in the US, we don't have our history doesn't date back super far. And so seeing like this building is from, you know, the 10th century or whatever, it's like, girl, what? That's crazy. Um, but absolutely beautiful. The food really was great. Pretty much everywhere in Rome, I was in heaven. Italian food's my favorite food. Pasta, pizza, I could eat it every single day. And while we were there, I did. And it was delightful and so affordable. I feel like so many of the places that we went. But then after, well, in Rome, we got engaged, and that was super exciting. And I can't wait for that. I'm a culty wedding. I don't know if he'll go for the cult theme for a wedding, but you know, I'll put it out there. Got to have some cult leader vibes to it for sure. And then we went to Positano the next day, and that was just like beautiful. I mean, I don't know, but it's so stunning in person. It's one of those places where like I had seen pictures of it before, but then when you're there, you're like, oh my God, it looks just like the pictures, because sometimes that is not the case. The hotel we stayed at, I'll actually shout it out. It was incredible. It's called the Il San Pietro, um, Il San Pietro Hotel. It's expensive. It was a splurge trip for sure. It was my first time going to Italy, and I'm like, okay, I want to do it big. I want to do it up. And we planned this pretty much since we started dating. We were like, let's go to Italy. So we booked everything far in advance, but the hotel was incredible. And it's nice because it's like 5 minutes from Positano. So you can either they have like a car that will take you to Positano, like where all the restaurants and shops and everything are, or you can use like the water taxis that are there and just go down to the boat from the hotel. But it was really nice staying away from the chaos, but being so close to it. So like when we wanted to have dinner, we wanted to walk around and see things, we could do that, or we could just stay at the hotel and lay out, and it was super quiet vibes. Yeah, just a great experience. So we were there for a couple days, and then we went to Ravello, which was just like up the coast a little further. And that was beautiful. I'm not going to say what hotel we stayed at there because I want to talk shit about them. It was one of those, like, we were only there for one night, and it was a really nice hotel, and I was like, okay, yeah, like this is gonna be great. We had been staying at a really nice hotel all week anyway, so I was like, hell yeah, let's keep these good vibes going. It felt so fucking pretentious there. I cannot even tell you. Like I felt like this was my first time on earth sitting in that hotel. From the staff to the other patrons that were there, I was like, get me the fuck out of here. Like awful rich people from a movie. You know what I mean? I was really happy that we were only there for a night. It was, again, beautiful. The grounds were beautiful. We were like, oh my God, this is incredible. I just fucking can't stand people like that. Because listen, I know people and have met people in my life who have I mean, I grew up in California, I live in Southern California, from Northern California, Bay Area, tech, all that. I know people, I know a lot of people who come from well-off families or they're well-to-do themselves. The worst kind of person is a pretentious person. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you give off the vibe that people are less than you because of any type of reason, I just think you're the worst. Yeah, sorry, that's my little rant about that. Beautiful, beautiful city though, Ravello was. I typically don't really feel out of place a lot of places, but I was like, I don't think I would ever want to come back to to this hotel wasn't the vibe. Like the kind of vibe where it's like the hotel bar, everyone is wearing like suits or tuxes, and you're just kind of like, okay, like this is a hotel bar, you know what I mean? And then we went back to Rome and did another night there. Great, and then headed home. But I felt, yeah, like I said, just so fucking exhausted, jet lagged, and crazy this week. Today's the most normal that I felt. Actually, the episode I recorded yesterday is probably going to be even more manic than usual because he was out of his mind. Actually, I was feeling so out of my mind. I was having an out of body experience, and I went live on Instagram too. So I don't know what he's doing, what he thought. He was just feeling all you know what it was yesterday was my first day where I was feeling kind of better, and I feel like whenever you're sick and then you feel okay one day and you're kind of like snapped out of it a little bit, I always get this manic energy burst where I'm like, oh my God, like I can do everything and I want to do everything and I feel so good. And then I super, then I fall asleep on the couch at 8 o'clock at night. But it is what it is. Okay, also, Sherry Papini, this is from Us Weekly. Sherry Papini now denies kidnapping hoax and names her abductor in bombshell interview. You've got to be fucking kidding me. I actually didn't even look at the article. Let's see what this says. Let's learn together. This is from Us Weekly. Quote, in the annals of true crime, the Sherry Papini case ranks as one of the most jaw-dropping. Now the woman at the heart of a headline-making kidnapping gives her first on-camera interview since admitting it was a hoax. And what she says in Investigation Discoveries tonight, Sherry Papini, caught in the lie, is truly stunning. The mother of two reverses herself, insisting she was abducted, and that the man to blame is the one who hid her for the 22 days she was missing. Give me a fucking break. So now she's saying her ex-boyfriend James Reyes, whom she was having an emotional, not physical affair, of being her captor. There was no consent, and he still did it. The injuries that occurred, the bites on my inner and outer thigh, the footprint on my back, the branding. I can't do that to myself, and I am telling you, there was no consent. During the investigation, male DNA was found on Sherry's clothes. Dun, 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 dun. We know that, and we know that was tied to her ex-boyfriend, James Reyes, who she was shacked up with. I just love that she is trying to change the story now. Like, it's too late, babe. We know the truth. This is like, I hate that they even give her a program to talk about this on. And this is one that I will skip. This is a skip for me, Investigation Discovery, because here's the thing, and watch there be an ad for it on this episode. It's like with Casey Anthony, right? No matter what that bitch says, will never fucking believe her. I am convinced she murdered her daughter. And then, as we know, she's made several attempts at having some sort of comeback era, which is so fucking bizarre. Like, I feel like they think they're a victim. That's how fucked up and narcissistic these women are. They think that they are victims of something. And the only thing they are victims of is things that they did, right? Casey Anthony killed her daughter, and then that's how she became a household name, right? That's why she became the person she is. She's not a fucking victim. She's not she wasn't just persecuted by the media for no reason whatsoever. And then Sherry Papini is another one who's just a fucking narcissistic psychopath who faked her own disappearance when she had small children at home, left them willingly for 22 days, got caught, felt like a fucking idiot for getting caught, and then came out and is like, no, actually, you don't know the whole story. You think you know, but you have no idea. It's like, girl, go fuck yourself. You are not a victim. So yeah, fuck her. Wish her the worst. Don't need to watch her go on camera and sit and try and fucking make excuses for whatever she did. Go away. You know what I mean? Just fuck off. Like you should be embarrassed. Imagine how embarrassing that is. You know what? You know what it is? It's like, when you lay in bed at night and you think about something so embarrassing that you did when you were in middle school or high school or whatever, or yesterday. Like, I don't know. We all have those moments though, and you get hit with that pang of like, oh my God, I want to crawl out of my skin. Why did I do that? Or why did I say that? But they have to feel that every fucking day, like everywhere they go because of what they did. And that, I mean, that is a just punishment, in my opinion, because neither of them served a lot of time for what they did. And now both of them just have to go through life with that uncomfortable feeling of like knowing that people know what you really did. It's not what people think they know about you, it's what people know to be true. So yeah, so that's something that I will not be watching. Two recommendations for you. I watched the Honey Boo Boo Lifetime movie. I did watch that, and I do think she's a victim of a crazy mother. And then I also watched, what is it? I texted it to Olivia literally yesterday. Oh, it's called I Am Your Biggest Fan. And the gist of it is that there's this woman, and she was like a child actress, and then years later, she left the industry behind and she became a school teacher, like acting teacher, and she was so happy to be doing that. But then they end up wanting to do a reboot of the show that she was on when she was a kid. And she's like, I don't want to do it. Well, a stalker starts following her around and eventually kidnaps her. And it's just like a, I don't know, crazy Lifetime movie. It's got pretty much everything that I could ask for in a Lifetime movie. So happy to be back on my Lifetime movie binging. So those are my recommendations for the week. And of course, Righteous Gemstones, which I've been pushing on you guys lately, but it's just so fucking good. And I'm now, I think, 3 or 4 episodes away from finishing the entire series, and I am so sad about it. But if you love Cult Leader and you love religious fanaticism, you will love Righteous Gemstones. So those are my recommendations for the week. And thanks for letting me just sit and, and talk today. I needed this. I didn't get enough out of therapy. And actually, I just saw the transaction charge go through for my therapist, which is always, I'm just always so offended by because I just think she likes to hear me talk, but apparently not. But yeah, now I'm all talked out. So that's it for the week. I will get into your guys' stories next week, I promise. I just needed to raw dog it this week. So I will see you on Tuesday with a brand new episode of Cult Leader. I love you guys so much. Have the best weekend ever. And get ready for the Cult Leader comeback era. That's what we're calling it. The Cult Leader comeback era. Goodbye.